Essential self-trigger point release for sciatica symptoms coming up next. Hey, welcome back to Sciatica September. You are in my Sciatica September playlist, recorded 2022, to help you get rid of your sciatica symptoms. Today, we are going to do some self-trigger point release work on a key muscle in sciatica problems, and this muscle is called Quadratus Lumborum. Quadratus Lumborum goes from the top rim of the pelvis along the vertebra. On the outside, there's like arms that stick off the vertebra, along those arms, and then along the top, the lowest rib in the back. Quadratus Lumborum lifts the hip or pulls you in a side bend, and it has a strong pull on the spine. So if you have a leg length inequality, one hip that sits higher than the other, or just about anyone with sciatica symptoms is going to have one side Quadratus Lumborum short and tight and the other side long. This muscle is a root cause of herniated disc. And if you can balance the Quadratus Lumborums on each side of the spine, you can often heal herniated disc. So let me help you understand that. Because Quadratus Lumborum pulls the low rib and the top of the pelvis toward each other, it's going to squash one side of the lumbar spine and fan open the other side of the lumbar spine, pushing the discs out toward that other side. In this case, I'm showing right side short, left side fanned open and long, and that can cause disc herniation off to the left, which then could create sciatica symptoms all in the left side. Now for me, when I had sciatica for 15 agonizing years until I figured all these pieces out, I had a right hip that sat high a lot, and my QL was squashed on the right side, fanning open on the left. But my symptoms were on the right side because I had what's called false sciatica. And just a reminder, I am going live on Sunday, September 25th. I'm going to talk about true and false sciatica, and I'm going to be available for a Q&A. I'm going to give like a whole teaching about true and false sciatica and this one hip higher than the other business. Anyway, that's coming up September 25th, Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So if one hip sits higher than the other, like for me, my right hip was sitting high, a bunch of things are at play. The left outer hip muscles are squashed short, the right inner thigh is drawn short and tight, and the right low back, QL. So today I'm going to show you how to treat that QL. Now, if you're not sure which hip is high and which hip is low, it doesn't matter, treat both sides. For me, or if you know that you have one hip higher than the other, only do the release work on the high hip side for the first week or two. You want to just get that side open and longer. If you're not sure, just do both sides. But I'm going to recommend, if you know which hip is higher, just do that high hip side regularly. So I also recommend that you start with your FreeBody soft ball, because there are nerve tissues here, because your body might be protecting around this area. We're going to switch to a firmer ball after a couple of minutes, but you want to start with a soft ball. And the way to do this on the floor, and I'm going to show you again, we're going to come in from the side of the waist. If we just lay on the ball this way, directly, it's not going to work. You have to get into the side through the soft side of the waist. So what I'm going to do is get on my right side. I'm going to put that ball in between the pelvis and the ribs. I'm going to start sinking down on that. Balls in between the pelvis and the ribs. Now right now I'm just in the obliques. They're going to be short and tight too. So I'm just kind of letting my nervous system get used to this idea that I'm about to stick a ball in some of my tender spots in my body. Breathing. And then when you're ready, when your body's kind of gotten used to that idea, you start relaxing. you're going to start to drop that top hip back and scoot your butt a little forward. Looks like this. I'm going to just drop this top hip back and I'm going to scoot my pelvis forward a little bit. Now I'm more at a 45-degree angle. Ugh, and I can feel it right there. I'm already in QL. That's all you have to do. You can, if you feel a little tenderness along there, you're in it. That's it. The only thing that lives here besides those obliques is Quadratus Lumborum. So I'm right near the spine. I feel a little bit of tenderness. I'm sinking. Top hip is dropped back. Bottom hip scooted forward a little bit to get me right on that Quadratus Lumborum. Now after a little bit of time, I'm going to lift up, lengthen my rib cage up toward my armpit and open that space a little more. It feels so good. Now you can start tilting and tucking the pelvis. Tilt and tuck the pelvis. Maybe wag the tail a little side to side. So good. Now that might be plenty of pressure. For many of you, that softball is the ticket. It's the golden ticket. So I'm going to show with a firmer ball, you will want a larger sized ball. This is that larger myofoam of the two that come in the FreeBody kit. And I'm going to now put this ball in here. You want to be gentle. Don't put a lot of pressure on the ribs on a firm ball. Top hip drops back. Bottom hip scoots forward. Sinking body down. And you can tilt and tuck. This is going to give a general compression against that Quadratus Lumborum and help it to release its grip on that lumbar spine. Help you to heal herniated discs. And even if you have false sciatica, you need to get that high hip drop down so that the pelvis can be level, so the false sciatica symptoms will also be relieved. Whew, sinking down a little bit. One more breath here. Okay, moving off the ball. It's a lot of pressure. For most people, again, that soft ball is going to be great. Then just do a little side bend. Stretch it out, moving side bends. One more each side. Great. There's your essential self-trigger point release for alleviating sciatica symptoms, self-trigger point release in Quadratus Lumborum. Now you could go and do both sides. I'm just going to work that high hip side because I know which hip of mine likes to sit high. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I trust that this video was helpful to you, and I hope to see you live September 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time right here. See you in the next video.